At this hour, an international search is underway for a Malaysian Airlines plane. The airliner fell off the radar just an hour after takeoff. On board the flight, 227 passengers and 12 crew members. 2 Canadians are listed on the passenger manifest. The flight was traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing when communication was lost, about 250 kilometers off this tiny Vietnamese island. There was no distress call. The plane just disappeared. Mike Drolet has our top story tonight.
Over the Gulf of Thailand, possibly the first evidence Malaysian airline flight MH370 has crashed. 2 oil slicks between 10 and 15 kilometers long were spotted below the southern tip of Vietnam. News finally for frantic family members in Beijing who had been told the plane had simply vanished. On the arrivals board, all it said in red type was delayed. My son is only 40 years old, cried this woman. How can I replace him? The Boeing 777 carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew took off from Kuala Lumpur at 12:41 a.m. At 2:40 a.m., air traffic control loses contact with the plane. At 6:30 a.m., the plane was scheduled to land in Beijing. And at 7:24 a.m., almost 5 hours after it disappeared, Malaysia Airlines finally announces it lost contact with the flight.
We are deeply saddened this morning with the news on MH370.
According to the flight manifest, most of the passengers were Chinese. There were 2 Canadians on board, Xiaomo Bai and Muktesh Mukherjee, a married couple who live in Beijing with their 2 young sons. Mukherjee works for Coal, one of the largest exporters of U.S. coal. The 2 had recently posted photos on Facebook of a loving vacation in Vietnam. Also on the manifest, an Austrian and Italian who are now learning were not on the flight. Both had had their passports stolen 2 years ago, so who used their IDs is unknown. While there's no proof, it does raise the specter of terrorism, especially considering how suddenly the aircraft disappeared off radar screens. There was no radio contact or mayday call, suggesting whatever brought the plane down did so quickly.
The worst thing that anybody can do is start speculating and then throwing guesses out and throwing ideas out. Almost always when that happens, what's put out there turns out, if not to be completely wrong, then at least very incomplete.
We're basically talking about
Malaysia Airlines has a good safety record, and so too does its captain, 53-year-old Zahari Ahmad Shah, who's active at posting self-help videos online and has worked for the airline since 1981. Once again, what happened that he didn't send out a distress signal? Family members of the missing are demanding answers, and until the plane and its black box is found, authorities will likely have none to give. Mike Drolet, Global News.